Hello friends. So in last session we have discussed about control flow and we have completed one part which is the conditional statements, if else, if let and match statements. In this session we are going to cover loops. So let's jump into the code and see the loops one by one. So there are three types of loops. One is simple loop, right? And second one is while loop and third one is for loop. So we will see one by one. So let's start fn main and then let me define one mute counter equals to 0 and then loop counter plus 1 and then counter. So let me control x, control v, and we will increment after printing. Correct. So let me run the program and check if it is working. So it is working, and when the counter is 10 the loop get break. What will happen if I will not apply this, right? And what will happen if I remove the if condition? So this loop will execute forever. This will become infinite loop because there is no condition. Let me run and see. So if it is working, let me close by clicking the Control C. We have already seen that when we applied the if condition, we can break the loop. So there is one more scenario. What I can do, I can define another loop inside loop, inner loop, and break. So let me create one more variable. Let counter 2 equals to 0 mute because we are going to change the value counter, and we can say counter is this, and if counter 2 is 5 then break and then print the line of counter. So we do not need to break this here. So when I will break this, it will break this loop or this loop. When I will break this, it will break this loop or this loop. So let me try one more time and check. So this break is breaking this loop and this break is breaking this loop. What if I want to break this loop inside this loop? So can I do that? So if I will remove this and I want to break this loop inside this loop, then how it will work? Correct. So how we can do that? We can define a label. So to define a label, single quote, test loop, and then colon. And then we can say break this loop inside the inner loop, right? So let's see what happens. So it will break the final loop and it will print only once this line, and it will print this line 5 times and it will get breaked. So let me check. So counter equals to 0, counter 2 equals to 0. So this is getting printed only once, and this is also getting printed once. But when the counter value is 5, then it is breaking the parent loop. So by defining the loop labels, you can achieve this. Otherwise, it will break the inner loop only, right? Now, you can also use the loop to return a value. So how we can do that? Let me define result. Let result equals to loop plus, let me define one more. Let result equals to loop. What we are doing over here? We are incrementing the loop, and as soon as counter value is 10, we are saying that break it and return the counter value by multiplying by 2, and this value will get assigned to result. To check this, what you can do, print result equals to this, right? So let me define this. Let me shadow the upper variable only and check one more time. So let's run the program, and if you see, the value of result which is coming from this loop is 20, right? So this is how you can use the loop, right? What else? Now let's check while loop. While loop is a conditional loop. As soon as a condition met, the loop will get breaked. So let me define a while loop. The while counter less than 10, then print counter and increment the counter by 1. So we will use the shadowing again because we are using the same variable. So we will define like this, and let's run the program, println, and run the program. So if you will see, After this line, this is the output of while loop. So while this condition is true, it will come over here, otherwise it will get breaked automatically. So this is how you can define the while loop. Now let's talk about for loop. For loop we can define with two methods. One, for I in 0 0 10, I want to repeat this line 0 to 10 times. So let's run the program and see. Print ln for loop while loop, and let's run the program. So if you see, this is the value of for loop, and the counter value is 1 to 0 to 9, right? So 10 will not be participate, right? 0 to 10. This is inclusive and this is exclusive. What else we can do with the for loop is, so let me define one array. Let array equals to like this, and I can iterate for this array. So let me define this element, and value of element is this. Print for loop with array. So let's run the program and see. So value of the element is 10. So we are able to iterate through the array by using array dot iter, right? So that is how you can use for loop. So there are two ways to use for loop. You can pass a range, you can pass an array, and for each element you can iterate the loop. We have covered while loop, we have covered simple loop also. So that is all about loops in Rust. Thank you very much. Subscribe to this channel and we will learn together. I will see you in the next video.